Heyo, we're doing a video with Hez, because Hez is cool. Yeah, we're gonna do some talking about theology, because Hez is pretty good at theology. Yeah, we're gonna talking about theonomy and sphere law, or something like that. Let me see, the window's crazy, so you can see Hez better. Yeah, me and Hez, we like to read Rushdoony and Van Til, and we've been talking about the authority of Christ, and where the authority of Christ starts and ends, which is, it starts with God and ends with God, and it affects every single aspect of life. That includes spiritual, includes the political, economic, personal, mental. The authority of Christ extends over everything. You agree, Hez? Hez says, yeah, he agrees. And if that's the case, then the authority of God is what is what really rules the universe, right? So, so this is a problem. Is that a lot of people, when I was a kid, were talking about how like we should stop the separation of church and state, because like Christians, Christ's authority extends over everything, so we should like break down the wall between the church and the state. And I've been reading Rushdoony, and he's I think most people know he's a theonomist and a reconstructionist. And we have to be very, very careful because God is authority over everything, but not in the same way. Like in the Bible, King Uzziah, remember King Uzziah his? He tried to go in, he was the king, and he tried to go in and make a sacrifice. And he got leprosy, and he was all messed up because of that. God, Christ is king, prophet, and priest. But we understand that the church is not the state, and the state is not the church. And that we need to maintain a distinction, but understand that in both of those spheres, Christ is the authority and king and the ruler, right? So Christ is the authority over every single sphere. So whatever sphere you can make, like if you have a sphere of law, how do we apply the sphere of law? Let's put the sphere of law underneath the authority of Christ, okay? And we put the sphere of the economy, under this sphere. As that sphere goes under the authority of Christ, and the church, and the state, and so on. Every single sphere should be under the authority of Christ. We have to be very careful breaking down the wall of church and state, because that's what breaking down the law between church and state is exactly what Hegel wanted. Hegel believed that the universal, infinite force behind the universe was reason, and the state was the manifestation, the incarnation of God on earth. Therefore, the state was God. Right? He actually thought the state was God, and that a state therefore could not make a law that was not legal, because they defined legality. They were legality, right? So in the same way, we as Calvinists say that everything that God does is good because He is goodness. They say everything that a state does is legal because they define legality. They are God. The state is God, right? And they don't want a separation of church and state. They want the state as religion, state as God, right? And Islam is the same way. Islam is Unitarian. They're not Trinitarian. And their God is Allah. And Allah is the God of the church and the state. There is no distinction, right? And that's what the socialists want. They want us to have a church state. Same thing. When they control the state, they control the church, right? That's why when Napoleon went to Egypt, and he fought in Egypt, and he saw Islam for the first time, and he made a comment that Islam was the perfect religion to combine with socialism, because he saw their insane loyalty to the state of Islam, and he's like, we need this. This is awesome. All right, so we gotta be careful on the news and stuff, I've been hearing a lot of misinformation that a lot of the conservatives are trying to fight for to break down the church and state. Watch out. That's not a very good idea. Make Christ the authority of the church and make Christ the authority of the state. But don't make the state your church. That's a problem. What do you think, Kes? Yeah, we don't want to do that. That's not good. Yeah, I agree with Hez. That's a bad idea. Christ is the authority of the church. Christ is the authority of the state. But the state is not your church. State's not God. Don't be a Marxist. Don't be a Hegelist. Follow the scriptures. But the Christ is authority in this place. Just like Hez says so. Bye-bye.